Imagine a book that holds the key to your eternal success, a guide so perfect that it has stood the test of time, offering wisdom, protection, and divine justice. Welcome to the Quran, the ultimate revelation from Allah, crafted not just to be read, but to be lived. In this video, we're about to embark on a journey through its profound stories and lessons, from the miraculous tale of the companions of the cave to the epic travels of Dhul Qarnayn. Stay with us as we unravel the secrets hidden within these verses, offering you insights that could transform your life forever. Ready to unlock the divine guidance? Let's dive in. Unlock the divine secrets, discover the eternal guidance of the Quran. Unveiling the Quran's timeless wisdom, a journey through faith, miracles, and divine justice. Surah Al-Kahf. Verses 1 to 8. Purpose of the Quran. Verses 1. All praise is due to Allah, who has sent down upon his servant the book and has not made therein any deviance. 2. He has made it straight to warn of severe punishment from him and to give good tidings to the believers who do righteous deeds that they will have a good reward. 3. In which they will remain forever. 4. And to warn those who say, Allah has taken a son. 5. They have no knowledge of it, nor do their forefathers. Grave is the word that comes out of their mouths, they speak not except a lie. 6. Perhaps you would kill yourself with grief over them, if they do not believe in this speech. 7. Indeed, we have placed everything upon the earth as an adornment for it that we may test them as to which of them is best indeed. 8. And indeed, we will make that which is upon it into a barren ground. Explanation. The initial verses of Surah Al-Kahf praise Allah for revealing the Quran, which serves as a guide and warning. It emphasizes that all worldly things are temporary and will eventually be made desolate. Message. The Quran is the ultimate guide for eternal success and a warning against disbelief and false beliefs. Shocking truth. The transience of earthly beauty and wealth highlights the importance of focusing on eternal values and righteousness. Lesson. Understand the purpose of life as a test of deeds and embrace the guidance of the Quran to attain eternal success. Verses 9 to 26, the story of the companions of the cave. The miraculous sleepers, a timeless tale of faith and survival. Verses 9. Do you think that the companions of the cave and the inscription were a wonder among our signs? 10. When the young men sought refuge in the cave and said, Our Lord, grant us mercy from yourself and prepare for us from our affair right guidance. 11. So we struck over their ears within the cave for a number of years. 12. Then we raised them up that we might show which of them was most precise in calculating the time they had stayed in the cave. 13. We relate to you their story in truth. Indeed, they were young men who believed in Allah, and we increased them in guidance. 14. And we gave strength to their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Allah is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Never will we invoke besides him any deity. We would have certainly spoken an excessive thing. 15. These, our people, have taken besides him deities. Why do they not bring for them a clear authority? And who does more wrong than one who invents about Allah a lie? 16. And when you have withdrawn from them and that which they worship other than Allah, retreat to the cave. Your Lord will spread out for you of his mercy and will prepare for you from your affair facility. 17. And you would have seen the sun when it rose inclining away from their cave to the right and when it set passing them on the left while they were in a spacious place thereof. That is from the signs of Allah. He whom Allah guides is the rightly guided, and he whom Allah leaves astray, never will you find for him a protecting guide. 18. And you would have thought them awake, while they were asleep. And we turned them to the right and to the left while their dog was stretching its forelegs at the entrance. If you had looked at them, you would have certainly turned from them in flight and been filled by them with terror. 19. And similarly we awakened them that they might question one another. Said one, How long have you slept or stayed here? They said, We have stayed a day or part of a day. They said, Your Lord knows best how long you have stayed. Send one of you with this money of yours to the city and let him look to which is the best food to bring to you and let him bring you provision from it and let him be cautious and let no one know about you. 20. Indeed, if they come to know of you, they will stone you or return you to their religion. And never will you succeed then, ever. 21. And thus we caused them to be found out that they might know that the promise of Allah is true and that there is no doubt about the hour. When they disputed among themselves over their affair and said, construct over them a structure. Their Lord knows best about them. Said those who prevailed in their affair, we will surely take for ourselves a masjid, place of worship, over them. 22. They will say, 3, their dog being the fourth of them. And they say, 5, their dog being the sixth of them. Guessing at the unseen. And they say, 7, and their dog is the eighth. Say, my Lord is most knowing of the number. None know them except a few. So do not dispute concerning them except with an outward dispute and do not inquire about them among the people of knowledge. 23, and do not say of anything, I will do that tomorrow. 24, except when, if Allah wills. And remember your Lord when you forget and say, perhaps my Lord will guide me to a closer way of right conduct than this. 25, and they remained in their cave 300 years and exceeded by 9. 26, say, Allah knows best how long they stayed or slept. His is the unseen of the heavens and the earth. How clear of sight and how clear of hearing is He. They have not besides Him any protector, and He passes no judgment. Explanation: the story of the companions of the cave is about a group of young believers who sought refuge in a cave to escape persecution. They slept for many years and were later discovered as a sign of Allah's power and mercy. Message: true faith and reliance on Allah can protect and sustain you through trials and hardships. The story exemplifies divine intervention and protection. Shocking truth: their miraculous sleep for 300 years highlights Allah's power and the divine control over time and events. Lesson: trust in Allah's protection and plan, even when facing severe trials or problems in life. The story is a testament to faith and divine care. Verses 27 to 31, the recitation of the Quran and the reward of the righteous. The ultimate recital, rewards await the righteous. The recitation of the Quran and rewards. Verses 27, and recite what has been revealed to you of the book of your Lord. There is no changer of His words, and never will you find in other than Him a refuge. 28, and be patient over what they say and avoid them with gracious avoidance. 29, and say, the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Indeed, we have prepared for the wrongdoers a fire whose walls will surround them. And if they call for relief, they will be relieved with water like molten brass that will scald their faces. Wretched the drink, and evil the resting place. 30, indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, we do not allow to be lost the reward of any who do a good deed. 31, those will have gardens of eternity beneath which rivers flow, wherein they abide eternally. They will have therein spouses purified and we will remove from their hearts any unkindness and jealousy. They will be brothers on thrones facing each other. Explanation: these verses emphasize the importance of reciting the Quran and remaining steadfast in the face of opposition. The rewards for the righteous are described as eternal and beyond worldly comparison. Message: the recitation of the Quran is the most righteous deed for a believer which brings rewards of Allah to the reciter because Quran is the word and ultimate guidance of Allah and adherence to its teachings bring eternal rewards. Patience and perseverance in faith are essential. Shocking truth: the severe punishment described for the disbelievers, contrasted with the eternal rewards for the righteous, underscores the gravity of faith and righteousness. Lesson: remain patient and faithful, and trust in the promise of divine reward. Recitation of the Quran brings rewards of Allah in life and is a source of guidance that leads to eternal success. Verses 32 to 44. The rise and fall, a tale of wealth, arrogance, and divine justice. The story of the two men and their gardens. Verses 32, and tell them the parable of two men. We made for one of them 2 gardens of vine, and we surrounded both with date palms and placed crops in the midst of them. 33, both gardens produced their fruit and did not fall short thereof in the least. And we caused a river to gush forth within them. 34, and he had fruit. So he said to his companion while he was conversing with him, I am greater than you in wealth and stronger in number of men. 35, and he entered his garden while he was unjust to himself. He said, I do not think that this will ever perish. 36, and I do not think the hour will occur. And even if I should be returned to my Lord, I will surely find better than this as a return. 37, his companion said to him while he was conversing with him, do you disbelieve in he who created you from dust and then from a sperm drop and then proportioned you as a man? 38, but as for my part, he is Allah, my Lord, and I do not associate with my Lord anyone. 39, and why did you not say, if only Allah wills? When you entered your garden. If you see me less than you in wealth and children. 40, then perhaps my Lord will give me something better than your garden and send upon it a calamity from the sky, and it will become a smooth, dusty ground. 41, or its water will become sunken into the earth so that you would never be able to seek it. 42, and his fruits were enveloped with ruin, and he was overtaken by destruction of his garden while he was bending over it. He said, Oh, I wish I had not associated with my Lord anyone. 43, and there was for him no company to aid him other than Allah, nor could he defend himself. 44, there, the authority belongs to Allah, the truth. He is the best in reward and the best in outcome. Explanation, the story tells the story of 2 men, one of whom was wealthy and arrogant, believing that his wealth and success were solely due to his own efforts. The other man, in contrast, remained humble and faithful. Message, wealth and status are changeable and cannot guarantee eternal success. Humility and faith are essential for true success. Shocking truth, the sudden destruction of the wealthy man's garden demonstrates the unpredictable nature of worldly success and the certainty of divine justice. Lesson, never be arrogant about worldly success. Recognize that all blessings come from Allah, and humility and faith are the true measures of success. Verses 45 to 59. Life's ephemeral nature, lessons from the parable of existence. The story of life and the consequences of rejecting Quran. Verses 45, and tell them the parable of the worldly life, it is like water which we have sent down from the sky, and we have mingled it with the plants of the earth, and they become dry leaves scattered by the wind. And Allah is competent over all things. 46, wealth and children are but adornment of the worldly life. But the enduring good deeds are better to your Lord for reward and better for one's hope. 47, and the day we will remove the mountains and you will see the earth as a leveled ground, and we will gather all people, all creation, and not leave behind any one of them. 48, and they will be presented before your Lord in rows. You have certainly come to us as we created you the first time. But you thought we would never make for you a place of appointment. 49, and the record of deeds will be placed, and you will see the criminals fearful of what is in it. And they will say, Woe to us! What is this book that leaves nothing small or great except that it has enumerated it? And they will find what they did present before them, and your Lord does injustice to no one. 50, and mention when we said to the angels, Prostrate to Adam, and they prostrate except for Iblis. He was of the jinn and departed from the command of his Lord. Will you take him and his descendants as allies other than me while they are enemies to you? Wretched for the wrongdoers is the exchange. 51, I did not make them witness the creation of the heavens and the earth or their own creation. Nor would I take the misguiders as assistants. 52, and the day he will say, Call my partners whom you claimed. And they will invoke them, but they will not respond to them. And we will put between them a barrier. 53, and the criminals will see the fire and will be certain that they are going to fall into it. And they will not find from it an escape. 54. And we have certainly diversified in this Quran for the people from every kind of example. But, man has ever been most of anything, in dispute. 55. And nothing has prevented people from believing when guidance came to them except that they said, has Allah sent a human messenger? 56. Say, if there had been on the earth angels walking about in peace and security, we would have certainly sent down to them from the heavens an angel as a messenger. 57. Say, sufficient is Allah as witness between me and you. Indeed, He is knowing and wise. 58. And whoever Allah guides, he is the rightly guided, and whoever He leaves astray, never will you find for them allies besides Him. And we will gather them on the day of resurrection, fallen on their faces, blind, deaf, and dumb. Their place will be hell. Every time it subsides, we will increase for them the blaze. 59. That is the recompense for those who disbelieve in the signs of Allah and His messengers. For indeed, those who disbelieve in the signs of their Lord, for them is a painful punishment. Explanation: these verses use parables to illustrate the transient nature of worldly life and the certainty of divine judgment. They discuss the consequences of rejecting Quran and the finality of divine justice. Message: worldly possessions and life are temporary. True value lies in righteous deeds, and the consequences of disbelief in verses of Allah are severe. Shocking truth: the vivid imagery of the Day of Judgment and the fate of those who reject divine signs underscores the gravity of ignoring Allah's verses and guidance. Lesson: recognize the temporary nature of worldly gains and focus on enduring good deeds. The reality of divine judgment is certain and severe for those who reject Quran. Verses 60 to 82, the story of Moses and Al-Qadr. Verses 60, and mention when Moses said to his servant, I will not give up until I reach the junction of the two seas or continue for a long time. 61, but when they reached the junction between them, they forgot their fish, and it took its course into the sea, slipping away. 62, so when they had passed beyond it, Moses said to his servant, Bring us our morning meal. We have certainly suffered in this journey much fatigue. 63, he answered, Do you remember when we sought refuge at the rock? Indeed, I forgot the fish. And none made me forget it except Satan, that I should mention it. And it took its course into the sea amazingly. 64, Moses said, That is what we were seeking. So they returned, following their footsteps. 65, Then they found a servant from among our servants to whom we had given mercy from us and had taught him from us a knowledge. 66, Moses said to him, May I follow you on the condition that you teach me from what you have been taught by Allah. 67, he answered, Indeed, with me you will never be able to have patience. 68, And how can you have patience for something you do not encompass in knowledge? 69, Moses said, If Allah wills, you will find me patient, and I will not disobey you in any order. 70, he said, Then if you follow me, do not ask me about anything until I make mention of it to you. 71, So they set out, until when they had embarked on a boat, he made a hole in it. Moses said, Have you made a hole in it to drown its people? You have certainly done a bad thing. 72, he answered, Did I not tell you that you would not be able to have patience with me? 73, Moses said, Do not blame me for what I forgot and do not cover me with difficulty for what I did not do. 74, Then they set out, until when they met a boy, he killed him. Moses said, Have you killed a pure soul for other than having killed a soul? You have certainly done a terrible thing. 75, he answered, Did I not tell you that you would not be able to have patience with me? 76, Moses said, If I ask you about anything after this, then do not keep me as a companion. You have received an excuse from me. 77, Then they set out, until when they came to the people of a town, they asked its people for food, but they refused to extend them hospitality. They found therein a wall about to collapse and he repaired it. Moses said, "If you wished, you could have taken for it a reward." 78, he answered, "This is parting between me and you. I will inform you of the interpretation of that which you were not able to have patience." 79, as for the boat, it belonged to poor people working at sea, and I wished to make it defective as there was a king coming after them who would seize every good boat by force. 80, and as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would oppress them by rebellion and disbelief. 81, so we intended that Allah should give them one better son than him in purity and nearer to mercy. 82, and as for the wall, it belonged to 2 orphan boys in the city, and beneath it was a treasure for them. And their father had been a righteous man. So your Lord intended that they reach maturity and take out their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. And I did it not of my own will. That is the interpretation of that which you were not able to have patience with. Explanation: the story recounts the journey of Moses and Al-Khidr, exploring the divine wisdom behind seemingly inexplicable actions. Each act performed by Al-Khidr damaging the boat, killing the boy, and repairing the wall reveals deeper divine purposes. Message: divine wisdom may not always be apparent to human understanding. Trust in Allah's plan and accept that His wisdom often transcends human comprehension. Shocking truth: the actions of Al-Khidr, which initially seem harsh or unjust, are later revealed to be acts of divine wisdom, showing that what appears unfavorable may have a greater purpose. Lesson: trust in Allah's wisdom and be patient in understanding His plans. Recognize that apparent misfortunes may have profound, unseen benefits. Verses 83 to 98, the journey of Al-Khidr and Moses continues. Verses 83, and they ask you about Dhul Qarnayn. Say, I will recite to you about him a report. 84, indeed we established him upon the earth and we gave him to everything away. 85, so he followed away. 86, until, when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it set in a spring of black muddy or hot substance. 87, and he found near it a people. We said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either you punish them or else you adopt among them a way of goodness. 88, he said, as for one who wrongs, we will punish him. Then he will be returned to his Lord, and he will punish him with a terrible punishment. 89, but as for one who believes and does righteousness, he will have the best reward. And we will speak to him from our command with ease. 90, then he followed away. 91, until, when he came to the rising of the sun, he found it rising on a people for whom we had not made any shelter from it. 92, thus it was. And we had encompassed all that he had in knowledge. 93, then he followed away. 94, until, when he reached between the 2 mountains, he found beneath them a people who could hardly understand a statement. 95, they said, O Dhul Qarnayn, indeed Gog and Magog are corruptors in the land. So may we assign for you an income that you might make between us and them a barrier. 96, he answered, that in which my Lord has established me is better. But assist me with strength. I will make between you and them a dam. 97, bring me sheets of iron. When he had leveled between the cliffs, he said, blow, until when he had made it a fire, he said, bring me molten copper to pour over it. 98, so Gog and Magog were not able to scale it nor were they able to tunnel through it. Explanation: the final verses of this chapter discuss the journey of Dhul Qarnayn, his encounters with various peoples, and the construction of a barrier to protect them from Gog and Magog. The chapter concludes with reflections on the fate of those who disbelieve and the reward for the righteous. Message: true success lies in faith and righteousness. The actions of Dhul Qarnayn and the ultimate fate of humanity highlight the importance of divine justice and the transient nature of worldly achievements. Shocking truth: the final scenes of the Day of Judgment and the fate of those who reject Allah's signs are portrayed with vivid imagery, emphasizing the severity of disbelief and the ultimate reward for the faithful. Lesson: understand the temporary nature of worldly gains and focus on righteous deeds. Trust in Allah's wisdom and strive for eternal success through faith and good actions. Verses 99 to 100, the Day of Judgment and the fate of Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog's fate, the barrier against Gog and Magog. Verses 99, he said, "This is a mercy from my Lord. But when the promise of my Lord comes, he will make it level. And ever is the promise of my Lord true." 100, and we left them that day surging over each other, and the horn was blown. Then we gathered them together. Zulkarnain's construction of the barrier against Gog and Magog is a sign of divine mercy, but its effectiveness is temporary. The ultimate end will come when Allah's promise is fulfilled, signaling the day of judgment when all beings will be resurrected and gathered. Message: the barrier against Gog and Magog serves as a temporary protection, but divine promises and the final day of judgment are inevitable. Trust in Allah's ultimate plan and the fulfillment of His promises. Shocking truth: the description of Gog and Magog surging over each other and the blowing of the horn signifies the dramatic and all-encompassing nature of the final day of judgment. Lesson: recognize the temporary worldly measures and benefits and anticipate the certainty of Allah's final decree. Prepare for the day of resurrection with faith and righteous actions. Verses 101 to 103, the fate of disbelievers and the righteous. Eternal destiny. Verses 101, and we displayed hell that day to the disbelievers. 102, to those whose eyes had been within a cover from my remembrance, and who were not able to hear. 103, do those who disbelieve think that they can take my servants as allies other than me? Indeed, we have prepared hell as a hospitality for the disbelievers. Explanation: on the day of judgment, hell will be revealed to those who disbelieved and ignored Allah's verses as reminders. Those who thought they could rely on other allies besides Allah will face the consequences of their disbelief. Message: the disbelievers, who have neglected divine guidance and sought refuge in false allies, will face the severe punishment of hell. The ultimate ally is Allah alone, and disbelievers will find no escape from His justice. Shocking truth: the vivid imagery of hell being displayed and the finality of divine justice underscore the gravity of disbelief and the futility of relying on false gods or allies. Lesson: place your trust and faith solely in Allah. Understand the consequences of disbelief and heed the reminders of divine guidance to avoid the fate of hell. Verses 104 to 107, the characteristics of the greatest losers and the best of creatures. True success and loss, the criteria of the greatest losers and the best of creatures. Verses 104, say, shall we inform you of the greatest losers as to their deeds? 105, they are those whose effort is lost in worldly life, while they think that they are doing well in work. 106, those are the ones who disbelieve in the signs of their Lord and in the meeting with Him. So their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any weight. 107, indeed, those who believe and do righteous deeds, they are the best of creatures. Explanation: the greatest losers are those whose actions, despite their appearance of success, are ultimately worthless because they disbelieved in Allah's signs and the hereafter. In contrast, those who believe Allah and do righteous deeds are considered the best of creatures. Message: success is not measured by worldly achievements alone but by faith and righteous actions. Disbelief and neglect of the hereafter render even the most impressive deeds worthless. Shocking truth: the contrast between the greatest losers, whose efforts are ultimately meaningless, and the best of creatures, who are rewarded for their faith and righteousness, highlights the profound impact of belief and righteous conduct. Lesson: focus on faith and righteousness over mere worldly success. Understand that true worth and success are determined by alignment with divine guidance and the hereafter. Verses 108 to 110, the reward for the righteous and the example of gardens. Eternal rewards and divine favor. Verses 108, Their reward with their Lord is gardens of eternity beneath which rivers flow, wherein they will abide forever. Allah being pleased with them and they with him. That is for whoever has feared Allah. 109, Say, if the sea were ink for the words of my Lord, the sea would surely be exhausted before the words of my Lord were exhausted, even if we brought the like of it as a supplement. 110, Say, I am only a human like you. It is revealed to me that your God is one God. So whoever hopes for the meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous work and not associate in the worship of Allah anyone. Explanation: The ultimate reward for the righteous is eternal paradise, where they will dwell forever in the pleasure of Allah. The vastness of divine knowledge and guidance exceeds even the boundless sea. The final verse emphasizes the importance of sincere worship and righteous deeds in light of the oneness of Allah. Message: The eternal reward of paradise is reserved for those who live righteously and fear Allah. The enormity of divine wisdom and the importance of pure worship are central themes. Shocking truth: the boundless nature of Allah's words and the eternal nature of paradise contrast sharply with the finite nature of worldly achievements, emphasizing the significance of sincere faith and righteous action. Lesson: Seek the eternal reward of paradise through sincere worship and righteous deeds. Understand the infinite nature of divine wisdom and the importance of living in accordance with Allah's guidance. Final thoughts? If you found this journey through the Quran enlightening, share this video with others. Subscribe to our channel for more profound insights into the Quran, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for your support.